inside the house. Mm-hmm. Jojo, stir that food up.
Inside a house for eggs?
Mm-hmm.
But they can die. But I know we can separate them.
Okay, so I was just gonna make this video and just do like a 3-minute video. But as I went to go make the video, God told me to stop what I'm doing. I'm literally making dinner and having the kids clean the house. So it literally looks like a hot mess in here. But God is saying to me that this needs to be read. And I'm super emotional because some things are happening right now in the spiritual realm that you can't physically see, but you're going to see in the future. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Join in, join in, join in. I'm only going to probably say it one time because I'm cooking and stuff. But God didn't want this to be a 3-minute clip. He wanted you to catch it and receive it in the actual. He has me in Exodus. And before I read Exodus, we're packing up my living room, which literally consists of a huge bucket of Bibles. I don't even know how to switch it around so you guys can even see like what we have. It's like this huge bin of Bibles and books and just a whole bunch of stuff that I just read daily, and we're just packing it up so we can have like a clean living room. But in the process of that, I ran across my older Bible, and in it was a note that I wrote to myself, right? And it just so happened to be stored to be stored in Acts 22. And in Acts 22 is where Saul was persecuting God's people. And that's before he became Paul. And God came to him and was like, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And that's where my note was. And I was like, that's an odd place for me to leave my notes. But I leave notes everywhere. Anyway, I wrote a note to myself. And I said, I want it all, God. Birth to nations. And I said, I'm moving. God is opening up new doors for me. And I said that I'm ready. New doors are opening. I'm moving as of today. God, I'm moving into my divine purpose. I'm moving into something so great. I'm moving land, wealth, prosperity, increase, expansion, notoriety. I said, I'm moving. So I wrote that, and then I wrote it right next to where Saul was, had his encounter and was blinded by God because he was persecuting God's people. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, why did I put it here? I don't know why I put it here. And this Bible I've had with me since the beginning of my journey. And I'm like, that's just an odd place for me to literally put that note. And so I began to read it, and it was like, and I fell to the ground, and I heard a voice saying to me, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? So I answered, who are you, Lord? And he said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting. And those who were with me indeed saw the light, and they were afraid, but they did not hear the voice of him who spoke to me. So I said, what shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said to me, arise and go into Damascus, and there you are be told things which you were appointed for you to do. And since I could not see the glory of that light, being led by the hand of those who came with me into Damascus, then a certain Ananias, a devout man according to the law, having a good testimony with all the Jews, dwelt there, came to me, and he stood and said to me, Brother Saul, receive your sight. And I sat with that. Brother Saul, receive your sight. And I was like, I'm moving into my divine purpose. And I'm sitting here and I said, my God. A lot of people are about to receive their sight. Just because you've been persecuted doesn't mean it stops there. It doesn't stop there. You had to be persecuted. You had to go through what you had to go through. Not only are you going to receive your sight, but the ones who have been persecuting God's anointed, they are about to receive their sight. And they're about to see the insight of who you are. And I was sitting with this and I said, my God, God is literally about to make your name great, not only to you and the followers of Jesus Christ himself, but in the actual following of the people that came to persecute you. If you know about Saul before he came to Paul, he was a Christian killer. He made it his business to persecute every single Christian, to hunt them down. He headhunted Christians until he had an encounter. And as I was cooking, I stopped for a second and God was like, they are about to see you for who you are. The drama stops now. The persecution stops now. They lost so much. Some people have been losing friends, family, loved ones, jobs, careers, houses. Some people are broken down to the lowest denomination or combination, whatever it is. They're broken down until they can't be broken down no more. And they're crying out, Lord, Lord, why are you persecuting me? And God is just telling them, like, you have been persecuting my children. You came for my children. So I'm going to come for everything that belongs to you, even the dog. I'm not going to leave one thing unturned when it comes to my children. You should have kept your mouth off my children. You should have closed your mouth when it came to my children. But every single day you made my children the topic of your conversation, and you did it like a sport. So now I am breaking down every single thing you have. Your dog not even safe. The goldfish swimming in the sink ain't even safe. Nothing that you own is safe until you stop persecuting my children. Until you stop persecuting my children, everything attached to you is going to fail. They are now seeing the light. Now they're seeing who you are. And honestly, a lot of them are afraid of you. So when you see those people that used to persecute you and now they look like they're almost running away from you, is because God had revealed to them who you are and whose you are. So when you see people look like they crossing the street to get away from you, understand that God already dealt with them. He dealt with them and he's not playing with them. He said what he said and he meant what he said. There's no more tears that are going to be crying on your side anymore. No more tears. The last tears you cried was the last tears. Let me say that again. The last tears you cried were the last tears. They can't keep pursuing you. God will literally strike them blind if they don't stop messing with you. There's a catastrophe happening in the atmosphere. There's a catastrophe happening right now, and God is not playing. He said what he said. He meant what he said, and he's not going to play with them at all. At all. So now I'm sitting with that and I was like, okay, moving into purpose, divine purpose. Okay, I'm moving. Saul got struck. He was blind. Now he was led. Ananias led him there. Now he can see. He can see the light. Everyone around see him. So now I'm sitting here like, okay, God, you're making it make sense. You're making it make sense. And then I flipped over and I seen a note tab, but it had no notes. And that's odd because if I have a note tab, I have notes. And I said, well, God, why you had me here? So I flipped it over to Exodus. Exodus. And I sat with Exodus. And even though it's not spelled Exodus like I think Exodus is EXITUS. That's how I see it every time I read it because it's exiting us out. We're getting out. We're getting out. I don't know about you, my boy, but I'm ready to go. I've had enough of this chapter. So every time I read Exodus, I read exit us because we out. So if y'all see me moving, get up and let's go. Like they say, when black people run, we run for no reason. If you running, I'm running too. You ain't leaving me out here, my boy. I'm sorry. I got to go. So listen, I was sitting with that. Right? And as I was sitting with it, it took me here to Exodus 14, I want to say. And it said this. Is it not the word that we told you in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than we would be in the wilderness. So right now, they're sitting here griping and complaining, and they're free. They're griping and complaining, and they're free. They watched Moses literally part the Red Sea and walk through, saw Free Willy, saw doggone Nemo them. They saw everything. And they walked through on dry ground. And now they sitting here saying, no water. I'm bringing another one. No water. Yeah, they sat there and they saw all of this stuff, and now they're sitting here, and because they don't want what they want, they don't have the comfortability of what they think it is. They're sitting here and they're like, oh, we could have been in Egypt. We could have been in Egypt. What do you mean? You want to be whipped and bound as slaves? That's that mentality that you got to change. When you elevate, you got to change your mindset. It has to change. It has to. It's a make or break situation. If you don't change it, you're going to sabotage it every single time. You got to change your mindset. You have to know when you get up there and you say, oh, I'm the millionaire. I'm the next millionaire in my family. This is that. But if you get up there with a millionaire, with the millions in your hand, but you got a poverty mindset, you're going to blow it. You're going to blow it. If you get up there and you say, I'm the man for the job, but you ain't never really had a job. So when you get the jobs, you're not doing right by the jobs. And now you're losing your clientele because you ain't changed your mindset yet. You go fumble the bag. This ain't the season to fumble the bag. You got to change your mindset. You have to. Always. When I sit here and I prophesy to you guys, sometimes I get sad because it's like I'm saying all of these things, but I'm not changing my mindset yet. I got to change my mindset. And this is me talking to me, because if I don't change my mindset, I will be back in poverty. I will be back in lack. I will be back in bondage. I got to change my mindset. I don't see myself as this mega pastor everyone's saying, and I see all these comments and I try to read them, but it's too many, then I get overwhelmed because it's too much for me. But it's nothing too much for me if God is saying that this is what I'm making you. So it got to be the flip of the switch. It has to be the flip of the switch. Break them in half. It has to be a flip of the switch. If you don't flip it, you're going to lose it. You got to. So when the Israelites was out there and they were going off on Moses saying we were better off in bondage, you mean you were better off being whipped? You were better off being bound? You were better off being raped? You were better off being hungry? You were better off not knowing when the master was finna come in and take your children? You were better off? You gotta change your mind, babies. You gotta change your mind. You ever see why these people that win the lottery be broker than they ever were before they had the money? Because they haven't changed their mindset yet. It's a switch that got to get flipped. It has to get flipped. God is saying, perhaps I'm not giving you your kingdom inheritance yet, because just like the prodigal son, he wanted what he wanted it, and his father granted it to him knowing that he wasn't ready for it. But he was like, you know what? You grown now. You grown now. You smelling yourself now. So let me give you what you asking for. Let me give you what you asking for since you want it. So the prodigal son took his hard-headed grown behind out there and was living in the pig's pen, eating with the slops of the pigs, because he squandered his money too soon. That's why God said, I want to give it to you. But if I give it to you now with your slavery mind, with your impoverished mindset, you going to blow it. And you going to be back to square one looking crazy. And you got to go back to your village with your head tucked between your tail. And everybody finna be talking about you because you ain't do what you was supposed to do in the first place, because you thought you was grown. And whenever I see these teenagers out here thinking they smelling themselves because they grown, now I'm sitting here like the world ain't even got to you yet. The world ain't even got to you yet. Listen, take heed to this word, young babies. Take heed to this word. I'm telling you, some people been on this earth and they skilled. These men out here gonna talk you out your drawers because they skilled. These women gonna trick you out your money because they skilled. You ain't ready for this world yet. Hold it. You ain't ready for this world yet. There's some people that are master manipulators out here. That's why God is holding you right now. He can't give you that blessing like he want to give to you right now. Because when you get up there and you in those industries and you wonder why people are selling their soul, because their money is being held up in contracts on top of contracts on top of contracts. And you see it all the time with TLC and all of these bands back in the day that was adding up and the math wasn't mathing because they were up there with some skilled demons. They tied their money up so good that they could never even touch it. They were just working for nothing. Pennies on the dollar, if that. Because they jumped the gun too soon. They jumped the gun too soon. Every day I look in my inbox, I got propositions out the wazoo. People saying, I wanna work with you. I wanna write a book with you. I'll give you this promo. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. If you this. I don't listen to any of that, because the way God gonna give it to me, you ain't got to proposition me. Baby, God will put it right in my lap. God will put it right in my lap, and you can't proposition me to promote for you, and you can't offer me something of yours for me to promote when I'm the prize, and I don't need to promote your stuff because I don't need your product. You can't con me out of something for a deal. You got to walk with wisdom. You have to walk with wisdom. There are people right now waiting on me to do interviews with them, and I'll decline. I decline. Because your interview ain't really an interview. It's a gossip session, and you're waiting to trip me up on my words. But a wise person knows when to hold back their tongue. A wise person knows when to turn down, publicity or whatever it is. A wise person knows not to get into that debate. You gotta hold back. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Not every door is an open door for you. You got to be wise. The devil walks around every single day seeking who he may devour. Seeking who he may devour. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. You can't con me out of something. I've been a model for over 10 years. I've done commercials and magazines. Nothing you can offer me will make me better. I already had my name before God gave me this name. So nothing that you guys are offering me is anything substantial. I don't need the limelight. I had my own clout. I had my own Google. This is nothing. So there's nothing that you can offer me that God hasn't already given to me. And when I be reading them, I think about Jesus in the 40-day, 40-night, with the fast, because the devil was there tempting him with things that was already his. You got to look at the big package. What are they going to gain from it? Not what can you gain, but what can they gain? Because you bring the table. You bring the chairs. You bring the legs. You bring the cutlery. You bring the utensils. You bring it all. So what they're going to do is they're going to flip it and reverse it and try to make you seem like it's a great opportunity for you, even though you got the platform, even though you got the name, even though you got the notoriety. How they will verbiage it is, oh, I think we can come to a great contract. I will give you the promos if we just go into this agreement together, and we can do 50-50 or 60-40. I could do 100-100 because God is going to give it to me anyway. I can hold back my tongue for real, because God going to give it to me anyway. I can wait a little bit longer for something that God is going to give me anyway. God will give me that big interview. God will open up that big door. All I got to do is be still and know. It might not be this year. It might not be this next year. It might be 10 years down the road. But I'm not going to owe nobody nothing. I'm not going to owe nobody nothing because I ain't got that poverty mentality. I'm not signing no deal with you, devil. I'm not going 50-50 or 60-40 with nobody. I don't need your funky promos. I don't need your help. I don't need your funky interview. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. My answer is no today, tomorrow, and the next day. I don't need to get on here on TikTok and be on 6 different screens with 6 different prophets with 6 different devils. I don't need that. I don't need your name. I don't need anything but God. I don't need anything but God. Stir that food up. I don't need anything but God. And the second people realize that is the second you'll stop selling for anything. For anything. If you fall, if you don't have your own mindset, you'll fall for anything. And the offers will be looking good, and they'll write it up real good. I got paragraphs up in that bad boy. Propositions off of propositions. People waiting for business meetings, but I'm never going to attend. You don't have to attend everything. Don't you dare feel pressured into something. You have the right to take time and pray and fast on it. If someone ever pressures you to do something, it's a reason why, because they have a time limit to meet the devil. They need to meet him at his quota. And if they can't bring you to him, then there's an issue. Now they got to pay the piper. Now they got to pay the piper. Don't you ever feel pressure into something. Don't you ever feel pressured into something. You have the right to say, hold on, let me take this back to God. Hold on, let me go talk to God on this. I'll contact you in a second. If they get offended about you going to verify with God, it ain't from him. It ain't from him in the first place. Close that door. Close that door. Close that door. I'm telling you. It said this, the Lord will fight for you. and you shall hold your peace. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Every battle ain't your battle. Close your mouth. Let God fight those battles. He's doing something new for you. I'm telling you, there's some devils right now mad that you woke up and realized who you are. You don't need nobody but God. If it's you and God, if it's God and you, that's all you need. So I was doing the thing for my wedding, right? And I was going through my phone seeing who I was going to have for my bridesmaids. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, and she said, oh, well, you don't really have any friends like that. And I was like, no, I keep my circle like a dot. I have a lot of acquaintances, and I have a lot of people that I consider could be my friends, but I don't really tell anybody my information because the devil don't care who he used. Just like it said, they were sitting at the table with the 12 disciples, and Satan entered into Judas. I don't need Satan to enter into anybody at my table. So I keep my friends near and dear, like, you're not going to play me like that. So I was like, she was like, well, it's kind of sad that you really don't got friends to ask to be bridesmaids. I was like, baby, I'd be like Whitney Houston and Bobby running down the aisle. I was married now. Because Lord knows what we've been through to get here. Lord knows what we've been through to get here. And I don't care who ain't gonna come. I don't care who go come. It can just be me and him for a season. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You don't need everybody at your table. Every time I think about friends, I think about the 12 disciples at the Last Supper. And it said, and Satan entered into Judas. And Satan entered into Judas. How many people are sitting at your table and you don't even know that Satan is entering into them? Just like that. All the devil needs is a willing vessel. All the devil needs is somebody that got animosity towards you. All the devil needs is somebody that got envy and strife towards you. That's all the devil needs. And he will enter into them. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need all that. I don't need all that. And I've lived 37 years on this earth, and I've seen every snaky, slimy female there is possible. I've seen them all. I've been around them all. I've been betrayed by them all. And I don't need a sneaky, slimy, oh, Jesus. I don't need none of them around me, baby. I don't need none of them around me. Listen, I'm going to leave y'all with this because I got to go. My son called himself cooking spaghetti, so I got to go and make sure he not messing up the food. But, yeah, I said it. What? I'm going to leave y'all with that same verse. The Lord will fight for you, and you should keep your peace. Keep your peace no matter what. Keep your peace. Don't you dare let the devil come in there and rush you into nothing and peer pressure you into anything. Everything that looks good ain't good. Pray about it. Take it all to God. Whatever it is, protect your peace. Make sure you watching your circle because Satan can enter into anybody that's a willing vessel. And just know that God is for you. And you in your mercy have led me forth to the people whom you have redeemed. Who you have redeemed. Somebody is about to get redemption before I even get off. Somebody is about to be redeemed. Your name is about to be redeemed. I don't know who you are and what you're going through, but your name has been slandered. People have been talking about you. I see a lot of men laughing. I see family. I see text threads. I see all of these things. And God is saying that your name is about to bestow honor again and you're about to be redeemed. I don't know who's been talking about you. You've been crying about it in secret, but you've been walking out the door smiling, telling everybody you okay, but you haven't been okay. You haven't been okay. And God is saying that I am going to redeem you. And the very people that's been talking about you and been texting about you, I see text messages. God is saying that he is going to redeem you. He is going to redeem you. Don't you cry about it no more. Don't you cry about it no more. Don't you sit up here and ask why no more. Don't ask why they did what they did. It had to happen. God is redeeming you. God is redeeming you. My God.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
It's supposed to be this guy supposed to stick on the thing.
Okay. Yes, God is redeeming you. It says, hold on, because I can't get off. I just seen something that I talked about this morning. If I see it 2 times, I know that it's confirmation. Oh, I just saw it when I just looked over at my son. You stretched out your when I said this morning, the second video I made, when I said, stretch out your hands to the Lord, you stretch out your right hand and the earth swallowed them. Your enemy, you and your mercy have led forth the people whom you will be redeemed. You have guided them in your strength and your holy habitation. The people will hear and be afraid. Sorrow will take hold of the inhabitations. It's over. It's finished. It is done. I don't know who you are, but it is finished. It is done. This is the second time I've seen stretch out your hands. Whoever you are, stretch forth your hands. Understand, God is saying that it is done. You prayed. You left it. Be still and know. Be still and know. I'm going to leave it like that. All right, you guys. I love you all. What?
Hello.
I love you all. I got to go because I'm going to cook dinner. But it's finished. That's what I'm going to leave it off on. It is finished. And I will leave you guys to read Exodus. Read it as Exodus. Exodus 14 and 15. And that'll be your confirmation for today. Exodus 14 and 15. That is your confirmation. You're coming out on the other side. It is under your feet. It is finished. It is done. It is over. Understand that.